Imagine starving for days, then seeing a giant tiger standing right in front of you. It's nothing but meat. So why didn't ancient humans hunt and eat carnivores? The answer has nothing to do with courage, and it may have saved our entire species. At first, avoiding carnivores doesn't make much sense. If ancient humans were hungry enough to hunt deer, bison, or wild horses, why not hunt wolves, lions, or giant cats too? After all, meat is meat, right? But that's exactly where most people get it wrong. To our ancestors, a carnivore wasn't simply another animal. It was something completely different. Every hunt was a dangerous gamble, and wasting precious energy on the wrong target could mean starving to death. A single injury could become infected. A broken leg could mean the end of your life. So every decision mattered. Ancient humans didn't just ask, "Can we kill it?" They asked a much more important question. Is it actually worth killing? And once you understand the answer, you'll realize why predators were almost never the meal, even when humans were desperate for food. The biggest problem wasn't the fight itself. It was what happened after the fight. Predators are built to kill. They have sharp claws, powerful jaws, incredible speed, and years of hunting experience. Even if a group of humans managed to bring down a tiger or a lion, someone would almost certainly be injured. And 50,000 years ago, there were no hospitals, no antibiotics, and no second chances. A deep bite could become infected. A single broken bone could leave someone unable to hunt for weeks. For a small tribe, losing even one skilled hunter wasn't just sad, it could threaten everyone's survival. Suddenly, that one animal wasn't worth the risk anymore. But danger wasn't the only reason humans stayed away from carnivores. There was another problem, one that most people never think about, and it made eating predators an even worse idea. There's another reason carnivores were such a poor source of food. They simply weren't worth the reward. Animals like deer, mammoths, and bison spent their lives eating plants, allowing them to grow massive bodies packed with fat and muscle. Carnivores didn't have that advantage. Because they hunted other animals for survival, they were usually lean, carrying far less meat than herbivores of a similar size. Think about it. Would you risk your life fighting one angry tiger for a relatively small amount of meat, or hunt a much larger herbivore that could feed your entire tribe? For ancient humans, the answer was obvious. Every hunt had to provide more calories than it cost. Predators were expensive targets that offered surprisingly little in return, but even that wasn't the biggest reason humans avoided eating them. The real danger was something they couldn't even see, something hidden inside the meat itself. Predators also carried invisible risks that ancient humans had no way of understanding. Carnivores often fed on sick, injured, or dead animals, exposing them to parasites, bacteria, and dangerous diseases. Humans didn't know what germs were, but they quickly learned something through experience. Certain animals made people sick. Over countless generations, that knowledge was passed from one tribe to the next. It wasn't written down in books. It became part of survival itself. If one hunting group became ill after eating a predator, others were likely to avoid making the same mistake. This wasn't science as we know it today. It was survival through observation. Little by little, humans learned which animals were worth hunting and which ones were better left alone. And because of that, our ancestors began focusing on a completely different group of animals, one that would help humanity thrive for thousands of years. Over time, ancient humans became incredibly smart hunters. Instead of chasing the most dangerous animals, they chased the ones that gave them the greatest reward. Giant herbivores like mammoths, bison, wild horses, and deer traveled in large herds. They provided huge amounts of meat, valuable fat, warm hides for clothing, and even bones that could be turned into tools and weapons. One successful hunt could keep an entire tribe alive for days, sometimes even weeks. Predators, on the other hand, offered very little by comparison. They were harder to kill, more likely to kill you first, and far less useful after the hunt was over. That's why humans didn't become the kings of nature by fighting every dangerous animal they saw. They became successful because they learned to choose their battles wisely, and that simple decision didn't just change what humans ate, it changed the future of our entire species. Interestingly, this strategy never really disappeared. Even today, people all over the world eat cows, sheep, chickens, deer, and fish far more often than they eat wolves, lions, or tigers. It's not because carnivores are impossible to eat. They aren't. In fact, throughout history, there have been rare situations where people did eat predators to survive, but those moments were exceptions, not the rule. Thousands of years of experience had already taught humans a simple lesson. Herbivores were safer, more efficient, and far more rewarding. Without ever understanding calories, food chains, or biology, our ancestors had discovered one of nature's greatest survival rules, and that decision helped them spend less time recovering from dangerous hunts, and more time building families, communities, and eventually civilizations. It may seem like a small choice, but it shaped human history in ways most people never realize. So, why didn't ancient humans eat carnivores? It wasn't because they were afraid, it was because they were smart. Every hunt was a calculation between risk and reward, and predators simply failed that calculation. They were more dangerous to hunt, offered less meat, and carried greater health risks than the herbivores roaming the same land. By choosing the safer and more rewarding prey, our ancestors gave themselves a better chance to survive, raise families, and pass their knowledge to the next generation. It may seem like a small decision, but it helped shape the future of humanity itself. And if you enjoy discovering the hidden reasons behind how ancient humans survived, make sure to subscribe, because there are many more fascinating stories waiting to be uncovered. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.